Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. It is Sunday, August 17th, 7:45 p.m. It's time for another live stream, some more best ball drafts. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. Before I do these drafts, I do have sometimes I listen to like a hype song, and my personal hype song is Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. That shit always gets me amped. I wish I could play it on the stream, but we will get flagged. So if you're in the mood, go ahead and turn that on your own device. But just some insight into what I do to get myself pumped up for these. But before we hop into the BBM, as advertised on the title of this video, we are going to practice real quick. We are going to hop into a puppy for sure, just to get our feet wet and get prepped. So if you want to join in this puppy, now's the time. I hope you have it queued up. I'll give you 10 or so seconds, 15 maybe, I guess. Sorry, Quincy, are we hopping into a BBL? Not together. Not together, that's for sure. I hope everyone is later tonight, but not together. That's for sure. Anyways, I've given you enough time. I hope you're ready. The Puppy 3, I will be joining as of right now. So hop in right now. I'm on a 6-7 second delay. So I'll join in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We're in the Puppy, our first draft. Next one will be the BBM. Maybe later tonight off the live stream, I'll hop into a BBL. But Emin Fromke, my GOAT fantasy football YouTuber. Thank you, my friend. I am a Capricorn, so GOAT is fitting. But appreciate you, man. This lobby is full, so this thing hopefully goes quickly, and then we'll be in the BBM later. I get the 101. That's pretty beautiful. But got some familiar faces in here. I do see Dev UHN, and then our perennial stalker that never reveals herself, Stage 9, in here at 7. And if it's just a coincidence that I'm always in a lobby with Stage 9, that'd be pretty crazy. But Stage 9 Klinger is in here at pick 7. Otherwise, I don't recognize too many other people. If you are in here with me, let me know. But Dev, what's up, man? Good to see you. You got pick 10 over there. And later tonight, ideally we all have our own personal BBL later tonight. Anyways, how many more seconds for this thing? On the clock, we are going to take Ja'Marr Chase, because that's pretty much the only way you get him. I want my exposures to Ja'Marr wherever I can get him. So we are at the turn. We got a few minutes before we're back on the clock, but we'll get going. Quincy asking, what did I get up to today? A lot of editing, my friend. A lot of editing. We're approaching the season, and I'm dipping into the full-time activities for the channel, and I am a little behind on some of my rankings videos and also win-loss picks. So this week is all going to be rankings videos. I'm actually like 95% done with the quarterback rankings video, so look out for that tomorrow. And then I think I'll probably do tight end rankings before I update wide receiver and running back later on in the week. But tomorrow, QB rankings, keep an eye out for that. If you are new to the channel, if you don't want to miss it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you drop a like if you're enjoying the video. But we're only like 5 minutes in. Maybe I need to earn the like and subscription later on. But if you don't want to miss out and you're already subscribed, make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you're updated for all of my new content. Every time I go live, you will know. And you can hop in to these videos if you want, or you can just be one of the first people to view the new content and peep the new videos. But Stage 9 Klinger does go Genty at pick 7. So following the terrible week 1 preseason game, Genty did look very good against the Niners with a full starter complement. Interesting to see Drake London at pick 10. I've been starting to think that Drake London is probably more in line with guys like Nico and especially Puka, given some Stafford injuries. With the Darnell Mooney injury, London's target share is just like so locked up. I do think London is a fine pick here at pick 10 by Dev. Like the odds that he comes back around are not always guaranteed. And you can also get a more unique pairing with maybe another second round pick. But Brian Thomas does go at pick 14. I still have Brian Thomas ranked higher, but does go Drake London, Puka Nakua. And if we were drafting, excuse me, if we were drafting like a month ago, you could have gotten this combo as well, just in the opposite order. Puka maybe at 10, and then London most likely at 15. So looks like Quincy says Drake London's creeping into the beginning of second round territory. That's where he's been like all summer, but this is the first time I've ever seen him as early as pick 10. This is the highest investment. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But Quincy, thank you for dropping that fat ass like. Appreciate you. And yeah, we're very close. It's getting palpable. You can feel the energy building. I'm very excited as well. Jason Calhoun in here with us. Thank you for joining us. Good evening to you, my friend. Dev says, I never get Puka, and he slid to me. That's a nice price on Puka. If we get an official ADP of round 2 for Puka, I will scoop that up all day. Even with Jimmy G, I still trust Puka as a high-end option. I'd still rather draft Puka than Amon-Ra. Personally, that's still a guy I'd rather have than Amon-Ra. But about to be on the clock. Let's take a look at who's at the top of ADP. Currently, Taylor's there. Taylor goes. So if we want a running back, now's probably the time to take one. I'm not taking Tyreek Hill, that's for sure. But first I'm going to go T. Higgins. I will take T. Higgins. And then maybe we can get Joe Burrow at a discount later. And the question is, do I go Hampton? Do I go running back? Or do I just take, like, Trey McBride? Let's mix it up. Let's go Trey McBride. I don't usually draft McBride, but I think in the third round, he's a perfectly fine selection. And I'm starting to think that Najee might actually play a little more than we give him credit for. Not like a ton, not like crazy, but I do think Najee might slightly dip in to the production of Omarion Hampton. So we're going to get that Week 17 correlation with McBride. The Cardinals and Bengals are playing each other. The Bengals got a shit defense, and McBride should probably be pretty good. So the advantage of an elite tight end, I think, is worth it in the third round. McBride, a little safer to stay healthy than a guy like George Kittle. But if you are hopping in at the moment, just a FYI, we are in the puppy right now, not BBM as of yet. But let me zoom out just a little. We'll get the draft board fully in view. Pick 12 was kind of cropped. Anyways. Quincy says, I usually see London at like the 2-3, 2-5, but recently been seeing him right at the turn. It feels appropriate. I've been kind of like, not dumbfounded, but kind of like surprised that when Darnell Mooney got injured and like with recent reports, why is London not moving up at all? But all the receivers at that turn are true studs. Like everyone in the top 10, all the way through A.J. Brown. You can't really go wrong with any of them. But maybe there's some quarterback risk with Puka. Maybe he does deserve to fall, but I think it's kind of too far at this point. But in general, running back has just been moving up the board more consistently, and that does kind of push down receiver. Interestingly, Kenneth Walker goes at pick 29. I just noticed that to team 5. They went with Nico, Ladd McConkey, Kenneth Walker. And one of the reasons I passed on running back at pick 3 is because I was personally planning on taking Walker in the 5th round. So that's a bummer. I hope I don't get totally boxed out at running back, but I've never seen Walker go in the 3rd round. That's well above ADP. Even like early round 4, You never see that. So somebody just got a little trigger happy, and I don't think I'd rather have Walker than Kyron Williams or Omarion Hampton, but it's possible that is the right pick. It's possible Walker's going to be a league winner this year because his new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, did just lead Alvin Kamara to a top 5 running back finish in terms of points per game. Kamara was elite last season, and it was thanks to all the targets. Walker looks poised to see a shit ton of volume in the passing game this season. So I wouldn't say I hate it, but in all likelihood, you probably could have gotten Walker at pick 44 if you're team 5. So it does feel a little high, but if that's your guy, I guess you can do what you want to do. Emin Fromke saying my hot take is Kyron Williams will finish top 3 in running backs this year. It's definitely possible. He's done that in the past. I don't quite know for sure if this year it's going to happen, though. I don't know if I would bet on that. That is a bit of a hot take. Let's be honest. Especially if Stafford is not fully healthy. That's probably not going to happen. But who knows? It definitely could. He scored like 20 touchdowns just 2 years ago. Quincy saying I got to get Burrow at 48. Odds are that's probably who I need to take here if I want him. But we'll see who's on the board. If there's a good value, then I might pass. But Emin is asking, you think Marvin Harrison Jr. will have a season this year? I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not a Harrison believer, in all honesty. I was hoping we could get Jalen Hurts at the turn, but the team at 3, Duke Dean, does take him. And so far, the team at 3 has not yet drafted a wide receiver. But I am on the clock. Let's take a peek, and running back's getting fucking thin. Jeez. This is sad. The price on Terry here, though, is too good to pass up. I think I will take Terry McLaurin just to be different. And then question is, do we go with Joe Burrow or do we grab a running back? I would like to take Burrow, but I know for a fact that running back is going to get really, really dicey. So I'm going to take my personal preference at running back, and even if we don't get Burrow, I think it'll be okay. Let's take RJ Harvey. I do have him ranked above the remaining running backs on the board. But wow, the team at 2 goes Burrow unstacked. All right. Okay. Do what you want. Definitely would have been more upset if he went at 71, but the team at 2 does snipe us. Jeremy asking BBM6 next. Yes, Jeremy, we will do a Best Ball Mania after this. But Quincy loves a naked Burrow drafter. Yeah, especially in round 5. Like, it's one thing. Fuck. Sorry about that. It's one thing to do it in round 6 when you don't have a stacking option. That's at least like a little more appropriate. But when you don't have a single Bengal to take him at the top of round 5, that's a bit strange. A little bit strange. Yeah, Quincy, this is a very good point on McBride. I don't trust Harrison, and they literally added no one. They didn't draft a single playmaker. They didn't add anyone in free agency. I thought maybe they'd be in the market for like Keenan Allen. It's still possible they bring in like Amari Cooper, but unless they like trade for Tyreek Hill, there is really no target competition at all for Trey McBride. He is the alpha above Marvin Harrison. But looks like Travion Henderson officially early 4th round pick. Kind of shocking that Terry falls all the way to 48 here. I'm not worried about Terry. Even if he does get traded, he's a money in the bank receiver locked up for 1,000 yards, no matter what quarterback is throwing him the ball. So happy to get him at 48. That's a steal, in my opinion. I'd much rather have Terry McLaurin than DJ Moore or George Pickens. I don't know if I'd rather have him than Mike Evans or Devontae Adams, but definitely Terry above DK Metcalf that feels like a very good value. But we just saw Pearsall, James Conner, Waddle off the board. And then that team at 9 who took Sutton at 57. That's a good price on Cortland Sutton. Goes Rome Dunze for some Week 17 matchup correlation. The Bears versus Niners. And although I feel really confident at wide receiver and tight end on my team, I'm really hoping some of these running backs are still on the board with my next pick. I feel a little boxed in at running back. But it is an interesting lobby. Quarterback is going pretty high. Like, other than the price fall on Jalen Hurts, to see Burrow at 50 and then Mahomes at 65, these drafters in this lobby are bold enough to get their guys. That team with Mahomes does have Worthy and Rashee Rice, so they don't gamble at all. They want the stack. But on the clock in the next 2 picks, this team at 3 goes Jerry Jeudy as their wide receiver 2. And then Swift goes. I would have been happy with Swift. But I feel a little claustrophobic at running back, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go Pacheco and Tony Pollard. I'm going to double tap the position. And I might regret the Pacheco selection. But if he's healthy, if he's really the guy, the upside's just undeniable. In Kansas City, the RB1 is definitely going to be valuable. So I'll take him. And then Pollard, with the Tajay injury, I do need to get back on board with Pollard, draft him a little bit more often. So I'm going to get ahead of the cliff at running back. Our wide receiver core is pretty strong with Jamar, T. Higgins, and Terry. And then running back RJ Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, and Tony Pollard. I feel okay at running back, but in general, I prefer to be scooping up the wide receiver value at that turn. Like, in general, I'm normally going Jacoby Myers or Jawan Jennings, who just went off the board. Addison, also, I think, a pretty good value, still on the board. And then, other than that, Jaden Higgins is the guy I like most at receiver. Not expecting any of them to fall back to me. But I needed running back. Got to get ahead while I still can. But Seth is asking, Puka, Brian Thomas Jr., or Amon-Ra in full PPR? If you're concerned about Stafford, then maybe pass on Puka. However, Puka's probably the most reliable option of these 3. However, I would rather go Brian Thomas Jr. above Amon-Ra. So it's all about your comfort level with taking on the risk of Stafford's back injury. If you're worried about Jimmy Garoppolo, then you can pass on Puka. I don't think at this point in time I would be doing that. But if I was going to do it, the player I would rather take would be Brian Thomas Jr. Even in full PPR, I still trust BTJ quite a bit. I prefer Brian Thomas over Amon-Ra this year. I think he'll score more touchdowns and be a better deep threat. I trust Brian Thomas Jr. With my life. I love BTJ. But Jamie says, what up, dude? Why is Bowers falling so far? I got him 211 today. And that's kind of typical. Like, if you can get him past pick 20, that is kind of a value. But the difference between the 208 and the 211 is not that big of a deal. I think it's just teams want to build their rosters without a round 2 tight end. I think in general, drafting tight end in round 2 is a little bit uncomfortable for some reason. That's the only reason I can think of why he should fall. Because there are good values at tight end later. So that's kind of where I stood on it earlier in the offseason. I used to really fade Bowers in round 2 and never take him. Now I'm much more comfortable with Bowers around pick 20. So if you can get him past that point, that's pretty good. But I think I'd rather go Bowers than Ladd McConkey. I just think I'd rather go with Jacobs and Taylor, still probably above Brock Bowers. So I think that's a fair price on Bowers, but you could take him at the top of round 2. It's also fine. But Quincy saying, I think Warren is the main running back in Pittsburgh this season. Heard bad things about Caleb not being able to block. Yeah, that's been my stance for about a month now. maybe a little bit longer. Like since early July, I've been more in the Jalen Warren camp, at least in like redraft. In best ball, I understand like drafting Caleb Johnson. He has more upside. I think he's more explosive, but it's not like Warren is like incapable of putting up numbers. It's just that Warren doesn't really score touchdowns. That offense doesn't always offer it. But oh boy, I would love to get Jaden Higgins here at 96. I don't think it'll happen. Oh, I get a gift. Thank the Lord. My most drafted player, Jaden Higgins, at the top of ADP. That's an auto click for me. I love Jaden Higgins at this price. I will not be passing up on Jaden Higgins. So now the only question is, who do I take with the 9th round pick? And by taking Higgins here with an elite tight end, I think I should probably get on board with like a quarterback. I think I'm going to go Bo Nix. I do rank Bo Nix the highest. And I also have RJ Harvey. Let's go Bo Nix. He has some rushing value, so not like a critical stacking option. In general, you want to stack him with Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, but if you stack him with RJ Harvey, it's not like the end of the world. It's still somewhat viable. So I go Bo Nix here. My highest ranked quarterback left on the board. I much more prefer Bo Nix than Kyler Murray. So even though I have McBride, I wasn't really planning to stack Kyler. I do not have him at the top of my rankings here at all. He's got some rushing upside, but not my favorite click. That's for sure. Quincy says Rodgers just wants the safety blanket of Warren. Yeah, if there's a massive blitz that Caleb like completely ignores and Rodgers gets fucking wrecked, Rodgers does not like to get hit. Rodgers is going to light him up on the bench, and he's just like going to tear into Arthur Smith, get Warren on the field, get this rookie out of my face. So that's my main concern with Caleb, like just their situation in Pittsburgh. I don't think it really benefits a rookie to pair with Rodgers. Rodgers does not like rookies. Rodgers has never felt very comfortable with rookies, whether they're running backs or wide receivers. Like, think back to Aaron Jones. Like, it kind of took a while for Aaron Jones to really get involved in Green Bay early in his career. There was like the notorious free Aaron Jones campaign. Even though he was better than Jamal Williams, probably that had something to do with it, some of his pass protection skills. But Caleb Johnson only played 3 years in college. Warren is great in pass protection, so I would expect Warren to have a higher snap share than Caleb Johnson this season. Quincy is asking, do you think Joe Mixon comes back this season at all? I'm optimistic about it. I'm pretty hopeful, but it doesn't feel like a safe investment. Like, unless Mixon is like my 4th running back I'm drafting, I don't feel confident in betting on him. I don't feel great about it. Like, a running back with a foot injury doesn't seem like a safe bet. You know, he's 29 years old. He's missed some time in recent history. Like, Mixon scares me. Even if he has, like, great upside, it's just not a click I feel comfortable making anymore. I'm probably going to pass on Mixon. Like, in the subscriber league auction, I could easily see myself nominate Mixon for $1 and then just never touch the bid button again. Like, let somebody else deal with that. If I miss on it and I lose because of it, like, so be it. But I kind of doubt that that'll be the case. I would panic just a little bit on Mixon if he was like my RB2. If you got boxed out at running back and he's your RB1, you might be fucked. After your stats on Murray, thank you very much. I stopped taking him too. Yeah, there's a lot of games where Murray is not even giving you like 15 fantasy points. There were 5 games last year when he was cracking 20 and giving you like 25, 27. Like, it did happen. I think in best ball, like, it's a little more justified. But in general, especially in redraft, I don't like drafting Kyler Murray at all. Not worth the quarterback 8 ADP in my view. But I am on the clock. I wish Tucker Kraft was here. I would love to pair him with Jordan Love. I don't really have a stacking option for Love, and the time is ticking. I think I'm going to go Cam Skattebo. give ourselves like a little upside chance at running back late in the season. And then I'll draft my 5th receiver in Keenan Allen. But unfortunately, no stacking option with Keenan here. Herbert was already off the board. So if Herbert was not taken by the stage 9 clinger at pick 7, then I would have definitely gone Herbert Keenan at the turn there. But I have Bo Nix. I have a top 10 quarterback. I'm not like desperate at that position. I'll just take Keenan as my wide receiver 5. But in general, I'm not drafting Scatterboo that often. However, if there's ever a time when Tracy is not healthy, I do think Scatterboo has like some very high upside. I love his Week 17 matchup against the Raiders. Like if Tracy's off the field in Week 17, Scatterboo could really pop off for like an elite game against the terrible Raiders defense. So we'll grab him for some late season upside. I think my main concern in the running back department on this roster would be Pacheco staying healthy. Maybe Pollard late in the season does lose some territory to Tajay. So maybe late in the year I do need some upside. Scatterboo is kind of interesting. But Peter was asking, do we go Ray Davis? I have a shit ton of Ray Davis, and now that James Cook has signed his contract, I've been trying to kind of cool it on Ray Davis, especially at this new price tag. I was taking Ray Davis like crazy when he was like pick 140, pick 135. When he was going in round 12, I would take him a shit ton. But to take him at the 10-11 turn, pick 121, now that James Cook has signed, it doesn't feel as valuable, as coveted as it used to. But there's still a lot of upside. I don't expect James Cook to score 18 touchdowns again. That's probably going to regress, and Ray Davis will be scoring a lot himself. Like Ray Davis had 6 touchdowns last year. James Cook had 18. If you told me that like they both combined for 22 touchdowns again, and it was like an even split, like 10 for Ray Davis, 11 for James Cook, I don't think that's impossible. It's probably not going to happen, but it's not impossible. It's not like there's a 0% chance that Ray Davis can score double-digit touchdowns this season. I probably wouldn't bet on it, but it's not impossible. Mixon has fallen late enough where I understand clicking the button. Like he goes in round 8 here above Brian Robinson Jr., a player I don't like at all. But he goes 7 picks after David Montgomery, and I don't know if that's like a big enough discount. But Tyrone Tracy, Zach Charbonnet go at the 7-8 turn to that team at 12. This happened a while ago, but that's pretty shocking. Big reach on Tracy and Charbs. But on this team, we're running out of quarterbacks to draft. I have an elite tight end. I've got 5 legit starting wide receivers. And then I also have 4 decent running backs. I should probably get in at quarterback pretty soon. But Jordan Love goes. I would love to take Love at pick 144. Even unstacked, like that's a really good pick. That team has him unstacked, but I think it's the right call. They do pass on CJ Stroud, but I'm not dying to take Stroud. Stroud's career numbers are fucking brutal. Stroud is not a valuable quarterback, in all honesty. Last year, he was the biggest bust. Stroud does go. I have Higgins, so I was probably going to stack him up. That's kind of a bummer. I think I have to take someone like Bryce Young here just because quarterback is getting really, really thin. And then I'll scoop up a cheaper value later on. But I will go Bryce Young here. Even unstacked, I think he's the best quarterback available. And then... Do I grab a running back or... I got 10 seconds. F it. We'll go Najee Harris. Pick 145 feels cheap enough. His ADP is 153, but I think he'll play a little bit. And who knows, maybe Hampton gets hurt. I think I'm going to need 6 running backs on this team. So, Scatterboo, Najee Harris, not like valuable depth pieces, but at the ADP price tag, I think they're fine picks. Little scary though. Don't feel like super confident with this running back core. We have RJ Harvey, Pacheco, Tony Pollard, Scatterboo, and Najee Harris. I definitely need one more. But then wide receivers pretty loaded. We have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Higgins, and Keenan Allen. That feels very, very, very competitive. And then we have the elite tight end and Trey McBride. And then currently our quarterbacks are Bo Nix and Bryce Young. I'll look to backstack Bryce Young later, maybe with Jatavian Sanders. And perhaps a Jalen Coker selection later on. Jeremy, upset that this draft is moving slowly. We've only been streaming for about a half hour. That's typically the pace to be in round 14, but maybe a little bit slower than usual. But we'll be in the BBM pretty soon. I think what I'll do is after my round 17 selection, I'll hop into Best Ball Mania. I'm not going to wait all the way around for that 18th round pick before we join Best Ball Mania. But currently, there's a run on tight end going. We got Brenton Strange, Zach Ertz, Mason Taylor, Hunter Henry off in the last 7 picks. Leggett off the board, so maybe I target Adam Thielen, perhaps. But on the clock pretty soon. Was Pat Bryant selected? No, not yet. I'll probably stack up Pat Bryant with Bo Nix here. And then I'm also going to take Rico Dowdle. Let's go Pat Bryant with Bo Nix, and then Rico Dowdle with Bryce Young. Peter wanted Jalen Wright, but I'm starting to think Ollie Gordon might be the guy. Just a little bit. Okay, so I'm done at running back. We have 6 wide receivers. We need one more tight end. If there's another quarterback available, maybe I'll take him. I maybe should have gone Sam Darnold there. That was probably a wiser decision, but not the end of the world. Deb does not like Wright. I used to draft him a lot, and then Ollie Gordon started to be a bit of a thing. But there is that injury to Devon Achane, not a good sign. Not the most durable player in general, so maybe every Dolphin is a fade. I'm not excited to draft like any Dolphins this year. I used to think Achane was fine, but now with the soft tissue injury, I think I'll probably pass. Achane did fall to pick 18 in this draft. But we're going to make 2 more picks in rounds 16, 17, and then we'll hop into Best Ball Mania. I was a big fan of Jalen Wright last year, but he did nothing in his rookie season. And then going into the draft, I also really liked Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. So they're vying for that backup job, and I really think it's any man's game. Like, I don't feel like super confident at the moment projecting either which one, and it's starting to feel like it might be leaning in favor of Ollie Gordon. But I don't know for sure. It's still just week 2 of the preseason. Gotta see some live reps before it's like clear and obvious. But I think it's an open competition. But Parks is asking thoughts on Isaiah Bond. Not a player I'm dying to pick up. Like, in my opinion, I never feel good about drafting a Browns player at any position. Like, I'm gonna die on the Cedric Tillman hill. I'll bet on Tillman, not the rookie Isaiah Bond. Is Ollie Gordon the son of an NFL player? I'm not sure. I don't quite know. But I'm not going to end the poll right now, but Josh Allen has been like the clear front runner in this poll all stream, and I don't know if he's going to win back-to-back MVPs. That seems a little unlikely to bet on. Especially now that he's like ticked that off of the bucket list. Like, damn, I was going to take Aaron Rodgers there. I'm a bit screwed here at quarterback. Okay, definitely going to take Jatavion Sanders. I need that. And then fuck it. I think I'll take Shador just because I feel desperate at quarterback. Let's go Shador. Okay, and then our final pick is going to be a bunch of wide receivers. Let me queue a bunch of players in case the clock expires. We're going to go Troy Franklin in the queue. We got A.D. Mitchell there. I mean, if Slayton or Wandale are there, we'll consider them. I could take Jalen Noel and tolerate it. Isaac Tesla is a decent pick. Elik Ayamanor, not bad. We could also take a gamble on Tyler Lockett. And then Roman Wilson, Josh Reynolds, fuck it. And even KLS, fuck it with Keandre Lambert-Sith. But you know who I actually think is a very interesting proposition late in drafts? Dontavian Wicks. I'm going to put Dontavian Wicks at the top of my queue, and we'll see who we end up with later on. But yes, Peter, Dontavian's actually very interesting at the moment because of all the injuries in Green Bay. We got Jaden Reed currently with a toe injury, and then Romeo Doubs also went down as well. So I got a long-ass queue of receivers. Not all of them are going to be taken. And with that in mind, we can get out of this draft. We can move on to the main event. So queue up the Best Ball Mania entry. I'm going to give it a few seconds in case you wanted to join me, in case you wanted to hop in to this lobby with me. And we're in the 20-second pick clock, of course. This tournament is starting to fill quickly. Like in the last few weeks, I think it's moved up from like 60% to 72% in just a matter of days. And it's definitely going to fill. There's no way Best Ball Mania does not fill by the end of the offseason. But it's only like 2.5 more weeks until this tournament's over. So who knows? Maybe there's a chance not every entry will get taken. Anyways, now's the time. I will drop the join now button in the chat. So when you see that, go ahead and do it. I'm also going to count it down. Go ahead and join right now. Right now. Right now. 3 spots left. If you want one of them, come and get it. And now it's full. Now it is full. So that last draft didn't go as ideal as I wanted, mainly because of the quarterback situation. Otherwise, I thought the team was pretty good, but quarterback was kind of gross on that last team. Anyways, I have pick 9, and I see a couple familiar faces. We see the icon in here. Same with Severe Jury. And if anyone else is in this lobby, please let me know. Jeremy's got pick 5. Yep, that's the icon. How's the last draft going? I guess technically we could check it out. Am I on the clock yet on that last one? Just take a peek. Because our first pick is not going to happen until a couple minutes from now. The player I ended up taking... Who did I end up getting? Our final pick was Dontavian Wicks. We did get Dontavian Wicks as the last pick. Okay. You think Jeremy's going to stream snipe? I'm not worried about that. If Jeremy takes our desired player, it's probably because it was the best pick on the board. I'm not worried about snipes too much. Anyways, we have a draft time set for the Subscriber League auction draft. It's going to be on Wednesday, August 27th, 10 days from now at 7:15 p.m. So 10 days from now, we will be live streaming the Subscriber League auction. Very excited for that. Looking forward to it. But I am on the clock. We have pick 9. Nico Collins just went. I'll grab Neighbors. Jackson Dart looks good. Jackson Dart looks pretty good. And at some point, you know, inevitably Russell Wilson will get benched for Jackson Dart. I think in that scenario, it's not going to be that bad for Neighbors. So I'll take Neighbors here. Not like a different pick, top of ADP, but I think a valuable selection, no doubt about it. Quincy says I'll be sniping the icon all night. Good luck, you two. You guys are back-to-back at picks 4 and 5. Interesting to see pick 5 go Jefferson over Gibbs. Personally, I would not be doing that. Personally, I'd much rather have Gibbs than Jefferson right now. But I'm not a J.J. McCarthy believer. And then with this pick, I've gotten really boxed out of running back lately. But I'm going to pass once again. I'm going to go Drake London. London could be an absolute stud. We'll take Drake London. So, double elite wide receiver. Not my typical strategy, but want to mix it up. I have a lot of double running back early on. And I do think these two young guys are kind of bust-proof. So, let's get ahead of the position while we can. But we'll see if I regret it later on, if running back really dries up. Might not even get Travion at pick 40. But here's the thing. In Best Ball Mania, I'm not convinced that Travion is a very good pick in the 4th round, because this tournament's been open since May, and there's a lot of teams that have Travion Henderson as late as like pick 70 in the late 6th round. So if you're going to take Travion in today's, lobby in the 4th round, you're not getting a big discount. It's not really that good. If you're drafting in the puppy, that's one thing. The puppy has only been open for a little bit more than like a week and a half or so. In Best Ball Mania, I don't think that's a wise decision to take Travion in the 4th round. So I'm going to be trying to get the biggest ADP discount I can get. Maybe I should have gone with Puka, given where he used to go in this tournament, but at the moment I'm a little bit worried about Puka. So I'll go Neighbors and London. But like the team that just took Chase Brown at pick 14, there's going to be some teams in this tournament that have Chase Brown at the 11 slot that got him in round 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep in mind what the values were earlier in the off seasons, because sometimes it can really benefit you to draft this late. Sometimes a lot of players fall, but in general, the ADP gets way more sharp over time. And some of these picks that we really like earlier on may not be as valuable because you're going up against other teams that drafted in May. They got them at a big discount. But think I'm going to grab... Fuck it. I'm still going to go Davante Adams. We're going to go trip wide receiver to start this draft. Neighbors, London, and Davante Adams. We're taking a gamble. But Evans goes pick 34. Maybe I should have skipped on Adams and let him maybe fall back to me in the 4th round. Oh, Jameson Williams at pick 35. That's kind of interesting. But Kittle goes at 36 to the team at 12. And then Travion. So, yeah, I kind of expected Travion to get sniped. But like I was saying, I wasn't really dying to take him at pick 40 in the first place because of the market value over time. But sadly, James Cook goes. I was really hoping I could get James Cook. That's kind of a bummer. Not ideal. Terry goes. And in round 4, I'll just take Jaden Daniels. Fuck it. We're going with not exactly a 0 RB strategy, but at least at the moment, kind of fading that position. So we're strong at receiver. We have an elite quarterback. In the 4th round, I think Jaden Daniels is a smash pick. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I should have gone with Henry instead of London. Anyways, Garrett Wilson goes at pick 41. Wow. I didn't even notice he was at the top of ADP. That's a much more appealing price on Garrett Wilson. However, given I started with 3 wide receivers, I don't think that was really going to be a good pick for me. Angus, like Jaden there. We do get him. So does Peter. OC Adam running 11 personnel all year. If I got a good offensive line and we got some time in the pocket, even if we don't have a good O-line, I might take a page out of Sean McVay's book and I might favor 11 personnel if I was the OC. But wow, Breece Hall goes at pick 50 in this draft. Breece Hall falls like a rock. Walker goes at 42 to the team with JSN. This is interesting. Now, I do rank it this way. I do have Walker and Travion ranked above Breece Hall, so I kind of like this. But it's been a long time since we've seen this. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this. Breece Hall in the 5th round? Damn. Okay, we're on the clock. I need running back, and I feel relatively safe with Chuba. I also like RJ Harvey. I'll go Chuba. I don't have a ton of Chuba Hubbard, but he is behind ADP right here at 57. So I'll go with Chuba. Maybe we get Harvey to fall back around. Whoa, the team at 10 goes Travis Kelce at pick 58. That's disgusting. Makes me want to vomit. But he's not on my team, so be my guest, Jedi Barney. Go ahead and take Kelce in the 5th round. Be my guest. Angus liked Chuba there. Quincy liked RJ Harvey. Sadly, I do not get Harvey coming back around. He goes to the team at 12. That only has 2 receivers so far. But not going to take Burrow. Damn. This is kind of sad because I should probably be taking Swift here, but I don't think it's wise. Instead, I'm going to go with Debo. Let's get our stack with Jaden Daniels. Let's go Debo. We're going a little risky at running back, but we're not the only team that's fading running back. There are 2 teams in this draft that don't have a single running back up to this point. The Icon at pick 5, who is in this lobby with us, and then the team at 1 does not have a running back either. But Quincy was saying Egbuka, Angus was saying no Egbuka. As much as I love Egbuka, in Best Ball Mania, that is not a good pick in round 6. There's a lot of teams in BBM, similar to like Travion Henderson, that get Egbuka 2 rounds later. So do you want to be going up against a team with Egbuka that got him in round 8? I'd rather not do that. I have Jaden Daniels. I need a commander stack. Give me Deebo Samuel all day in BBM. Wanted Odunze. Odunze's a fine pick here, but when I have Jaden Daniels, give me Deebo. Jeremy might be happy that we took Deebo because he would have felt compelled to take him. And he does go Swift. Probably a wise decision. And yeah, you did get sniped on Mahomes at a big price increase. I'll let that happen. Jawan Jennings falling. That's kind of cool. Jordan Mason goes. Jawan Jennings 1 pick before us. That would have been very tempting, but probably saves me from myself. Probably not a wise decision. I think I just need running back so badly. I think I'm gonna go Aaron Jones, but I don't feel good about it. I'll take him though. Highest ranked player. Jordan Mason does go 2 picks above him. Quincy, thanks for giving a very reasonable argument for why I shouldn't take Egbuka right as I take Egbuka in the 6th. Look, I think he's worth that price. If it wasn't this tournament, I'd be overwhelmed, really happy to get him. But you're competing against teams that took him at pick 90, 95. That's not as exciting for me. But Angus referencing probably the worst team I've ever drafted. Angus and I are in a PPR league that goes back to like my high school days. And on that team, I had a massive Caleb Williams stack. Hold on. We're on the clock. I'm going Jaden Higgins. The price discount on Jaden Reed is kind of tempting, but personally, I think Jaden Higgins is more valuable. Give me Jaden Higgins, even though Reed at a discount is tempting. I still prefer Higgins at the moment. Jaden Reed with the injury, not as exciting. So here's the team so far through 8 rounds. We have 5 receivers: Malik Neighbors, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, and Jaden Higgins. I think I'm going to be definitely stopping at 7 wide receivers in this team. And then quarterback is Jaden Daniels with the Deebo stack. I also have Chuba Hubbard and Aaron Jones. My running back core is gross, but we can always piece this together with a bunch of options later. I have a lot of like elite running back teams in BBM. This one will be different with more of a depth strategy at the running back position. But technically, if I invest in receiver quickly again, I could maybe draft only 6 of them. But in general, I don't really like to leave a draft with less than 7 receivers. So I'll still probably take 2 more. But yeah, the worst fantasy team I've ever drafted last year, the title of that team was My Desert, My Arrakis, My Odunze. Channeling my inner Baron Harkonnen. And it cost me. Oh, God, that was a bad team. It also had the Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson stack in New York. And my backup name for that team was 2 Jets in New York City. But I thought that was a little tasteless. I didn't end up going with that one. I went with my Desert, my Arrakis, my Odunze. And that team was shit. That team was bad. God, that team was bad. I won the subscriber league, but my other team last year was absolute shit. I think I had a case of hubris on that team. I was the reigning champion going into the draft, and then somebody nominated Odunze in our auction, like literally as the first player, and I wanted him like crazy. I spent like $12 on Odunze last year. Oh God, I'll never do that again. Although this year, if you get Odunze for $11, that's probably not bad. Anyways, fuck it, I'll go ETN. I don't take ETN very often, but I need running back, and here he is at 105. I'll go with ETN. Not my most coveted option, but just need running back. And if you have questions in the chat and I've been ignoring them, sorry, but I feel like I really need to focus right now. Drake May off the board. And then I should probably get in at tight end soon, but Loveland goes off. That's my preferred pick, honestly. But tight end is drying up, so maybe I should get in before it completely burns me. I want to draft Charbonnet here, but I think I can get some good handcuffs later on. Damn. Okay, it's between Charbs and Tucker Kraft. My running back core scares me. I'm going to go Charbonnet. I'll take Charbonnet. But I'm probably going to hate my tight end core by the end of this. Peter wants Crafter and Njoku. I was very close to taking Kraft, but damn it. I'm glad. Actually, no, I'm very glad I did pass on Kraft there, because the plan would have been to take Jordan Love at the next round, and Love goes pick 113. So would not have been stacked up. But other than running back, I think this team is pretty good. Like, running back is still fine. I think we can piece it together. But it's definitely not the strength of the roster. That's for sure. Quincy says lock in. Yeah, we got to lock in. We got a shot at $2 million right now. We got to focus. Got to pay attention. But if you're enjoying the stream, if you've been here with us since at least the beginning of this draft, go ahead and drop a like for me. If you're enjoying, if you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. Helps out the channel. It's free. It's an easy way to let me know you enjoy this content and to support my work here on YouTube. But Quincy asking, what's the deal with ETN? Was he being showcased during preseason, or is he a legitimate starter? I think week 1, he's the legit starter. I'd be pretty shocked if week 1 he was not getting the majority of touches. But he's in a committee. Tank Bigsby is definitely going to be involved. And I think as the season goes on, Bashal Tutin will definitely mix in a little bit. So I'm worried about ETN. I never take him, but usually he goes in like the 8th round. We get him late round 9, and I need running back desperately. So I'll take him here just because I need him. But I don't feel great about it. I'll be honest with you. Njoku off the board at 126. So tight end is starting to dry up, but it's not completely dead. We still have some options to take. Damn, Ayuk is still on the board. This is really not where I should be going, but Ayuk is going to be healthy in the fantasy playoffs, and I definitely don't need him to be contributing on this roster very much. This is such a good price on Ayuk. I'm going to take Ayuk. ADP 114. It used to be in the 90s, and I get him at 129. It's such a good price. I don't think I can pass on Ayuk here. Although it wasn't a needed selection, I have really good receivers. Like, such a good price on Ayuk. I think by week 9 or 10, he'll be healthy. And then at that point, I just need him for the fantasy playoffs. That's really the only thing I'm chasing with Ayuk. Question is, do I go with one of these like tight ends here that are like tolerable as your starter? Like Kincaid, I think is a good pick, but I could also go with some of the running backs here. Nah, we'll take our starter at tight end. I already have 4 running backs. Let's go Dalton Kincaid. I need a tight end. I need a tight end badly. I'll go Kincaid. Peter liked Ferguson, and while he does stack up in terms of Week 17 matchups with Jayden Daniels, I definitely prefer Kincaid over Ferguson. With Pickens joining the Cowboys, I'm not like dying to invest in Ferguson above Kincaid. Last year, Kincaid was a 4th, 5th round pick. I think the upside's still higher. So here's the roster so far. We got Neighbors, Drake London, Adams, Debo, Jaden Higgins, and Ayuk at receiver. Our quarterback 1 is Jayden Daniels. I probably only need 1 more when I have Daniels. And then running back, a little thin, but not terrible. I got Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Travis Etienne, and Zach Charbonnet. So I think early in the season, I think I'm good. Late in the year, I hope Charbonnet gets some starts and we have an elite ceiling available. When Charbonnet's healthy, he did average 17 games last season as the starter in 6 games when Walker was down. But Walker is probably going to be keeping him off the field when he's healthy. So not a safe depth piece, but elite upside when it matters. And then Ayuk at such a big discount, I think that's pretty good. But that is a very good price on Penix. I'm fine taking Penix there. To severe jury at 141. But the only issue I have with Penix, I wish it was part of his game, but it's not. He does not run the ball. Penix is just a pocket passer. He does not offer any rushing value whatsoever. But quarterback is quickly drying up. We do see Sam Darnold off the board. So maybe I should get in at that position soon. But with Jayden Daniels, I don't feel like super desperate about it. I think I'll wait until round 14. Take him ahead of the long turn, not the short turn. But there are some teams with only 1 quarterback around. Maybe I should go with Geno. Oh, no. I'm going to take Tyjae Spears here. We get a massive discount on Tyjae. Pick 153. Fuck yeah. Give him to me. I know he's injured right now, but it's in the same vein as Isaac Guerrero, Braylon Allen. Like, yeah, the upside of Tyjae, I still think once he's healthy, he could steal the job from Pollard. I haven't given up hope on Tyjae, and he did suffer the injury like early enough where I think by like week 6, I think he'll be fine. Especially when it comes to like the playoff upside of Tyjae in this tournament. I like this value a lot on Tyjae. He fell too far. So Tyjae around 13. I'll scoop that up all day. And now I feel pretty decent about our running back room. Damn, Ertz goes. That's all right. I'm going to queue up Geno just because I'm going to need quarterback at some point. Yeah, I think that's the right pick. Let's go Geno Smith. Highest ranked QB for me. And now I can stop at 2 quarterbacks. We can still backstack Geno with some decent guys. So here's how the draft went so far. We had pick 9. We went with Neighbors, Drake London, Adams in the first 3 rounds. Took Jaden Daniels in the 4th. And then Chuba Hubbard in the 5th, followed by Deebo Samuel for the stack. Aaron Jones in round 7. Jaden Higgins in the 8th, followed by Etienne at a discount. Charbonnet in round 10. Ayuk at a big discount. Kincaid in round 12. And then Tyjae Spears also at a big discount. I am basically discount Daniel here. That is a accurate description. Quincy Jones. And I think the team's pretty good. I definitely need 2 more tight ends. I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'm done at quarterback. I only want 1 more wide receiver. And then our running back core has 5 players so far. Damn, Dante Thornton goes. I would have loved Dante Thornton. But these days, Thornton does go around 14, 15, so it kind of makes sense that I don't get him. But maybe I can stack with like a Trey Tucker later. Not the end of the world. Peter asking rip a second BBM. I don't think so. I might do 1 more puppy, but I don't think I'm doing another BBM. Gotta watch the budget. Just keeping it real. Anyways, do I take Stafford? Kind of want to take Stafford. Jonnu gets taken. Damn. I'm going to grab Will Shipley for our last running back. I know I need a 6. The upside of Shipley is definitely worth it. And this is a price around where he's been going all season. So no discount on him, but a valuable pick in the 15th, 16th round in my view. Definitely one of the handcuffs to covet. Like him and Garendo, I don't see much of a difference. And Shipley goes almost 3 rounds later than Isaac Garendo. We get him a full 2 rounds after Garendo. Royals off the board. That's kind of curious. Okay. At this late, wow, Isaac Tesla goes off at 181. I've never seen Tesla in round 16. That's kind of interesting. But I'm going to grab my last receiver. I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston. Big discount, even compared to ADP. This is pick 184. His ADP is 169. And throughout this entire tournament, Quentin Johnston was being drafted at like pick 140. So big discount on QJ. I still think he's somewhat valuable. I don't see much of a difference between Quentin Johnston and Trey Harris. So given I'm getting him at a massive discount, and also the fact that Keenan Allen is like a big injury risk. Keenan's old. I do still think Quentin Johnston has some high upside for touchdown production. I would not be drafting Quentin Johnston in redraft. Definitely not going to do that in a redraft league. But in best ball, I never have to decide when to start him. Give me QJ in round 16. I'm fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. So the only question is, with these last 2 picks, am I going with double tight end? I've got 6 running backs. I'm going to stop at 6. I've got 7 receivers with a lot of depth up top. I'm going to stop at 7. I only have 1 tight end, Dalton Kincaid. And then I have Jaden Daniels and Geno Smith. This team probably needs 3 tight ends. Kincaid is not a safe option. I think, given who I have at the other 3 positions, I think I can tolerate 3 tight ends on this team. We waited a long time. I think that's how I'm going to do it. 2 more tight ends with these last 2 picks. Peter saying I'll Patreon you for another BBM. If you want to do Venmo me or buy me a coffee, that'd be fine. But yo, you know what I found out recently? They increased the commission on the super chats. If you send me a super chat, half of it goes to YouTube. Isn't that some bullshit? That's some bullshit. Do not send me a super chat. I kind of want to just turn them off, knowing that. But at tight end here, I'm going to go Theo Johnson. I like the upside of Theo Johnson. He looked good in the preseason. And then, damn, it's super tempting to grab one of those quarterbacks. But I'll see if one of them's there in the 18th round, because I was kind of planning to go Ben Sennett as my final pick. But if Anthony Richardson or Stafford are on the board in round 18, I might just do that. Deontay Johnson goes. Anthony Richardson goes. Yeah, Richardson's very tempting. But I do have Devontae Adams. Maybe I should stack him with Stafford. A team with Puka only has 2 quarterbacks, so they might snipe me and maybe save me from making a mistake. A.D. Mitchell off the board. I'm kind of hoping this guy snipes me on Stafford. Goes Coker. Fuck. Can I trust Kincaid or Theo Johnson? Like, here's the thing. My backup option is Ben Sennett. That's not a safe pick at all. I'll grab the 3rd quarterback in Stafford. In round 18, I think I'll take Stafford. But might regret it. My tight end spot is very thin. However, if there's one position you can not care about too desperately, it is tight end. So here's the final roster. We have Jaden Daniels, Geno Smith, and Stafford at quarterback. Geno is unstacked, but in terms of his price at ADP, I think he is a very valuable selection. So for the sake of the floor, I'll tolerate that. Our wide receiver room is loaded. We have Neighbors, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk at a massive price drop, and then Quentin Johnston also at a massive discount. Running back, a little thin at the top, but pretty solid in terms of depth. We have Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Travis Etienne, Zach Charbonnet, Tyjae Spears, and Will Shipley. And then our tight end room is pretty sad. We have Dalton Kincaid and Theo Johnson. So hopefully Kincaid lives up to last year's hype. Hopefully Theo Johnson can be a good floor option and maybe the number 2 target in the Giants offense. I wouldn't rule it out entirely. I do think he has legitimate value going this late in the draft. Like, I don't see a big difference between Theo Johnson and Chig Okonkwo. And Okonkwo goes 167. I get Theo Johnson at 201. And many times Theo Johnson goes undrafted. There's kind of a unique approach by drafting Theo Johnson. So tight end is very risky, but I don't hate the team at all. I think there's very good upside across the board. And then my receiver room is really, really strong. I think the team is okay. Pick 9 is never easy, so I think this team is viable. I don't hate it, but we need Jaden Daniels to stay healthy, and our running backs, our veteran running backs, to also stay healthy. We'll see what happens. But we were drafting with the Icon at pick 5. Let's take a look at the Icon's team. He went with Josh Allen and J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. He has McCarthy stacked up with Justin Jefferson. His other receivers are Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. Also has Addison, so the double stack with J.J. McCarthy. Khalil Shakir to pair up with Josh Allen at a good price tag here. Chris Godwin at 101, kind of similar to my Ayuk investment. Late in the season, it should pay off. And then also has Leggett. So the receiving core stopped at 7. Tight end, he has Bowers and Jatavian Sanders. So some investments in Carolina. And then at running back, he waited very late. Started with Swift as the RB1 in round 6. And then also has Scatterboot, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Rachaad White, Roschon Johnson, and Miles Sanders. So every Cowboys running back, 2 Bears running backs, Rachaad White and Scatterboot. Good luck. The Icon, Jeremy at pick 5. Running back is the only like major red flag, but you knew you were getting into that hole when you started without a running back through the first 5 rounds. So good luck there. And then Severe Jury also in here with us, goes with Hurts in round 4 and Michael Penix. And then at receiver has CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Egbuka, Jacoby Myers, Darnell Mooney, Romeo Doubs, and De'Ami Brown. Jahan Dotson, the rare Jahan Dotson stack with Jalen Hurts. At running back, you have Bucky Irving, Hampton. That's always nice. Jalen Warren, pretty good. Tank Bigsby, also pretty good floor play. Eckler and Woody Marks, not bad. I like the running back room. And then receivers also decent. Receivers decent. But we did mention the Egbuka price in round 6. Maybe not as valuable in BBM as it once was. Anyways, that's going to be it for this Best Ball Mania draft. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. Oh, we got some ad runnings. Maybe you didn't hear that. Anyways, we will finish up this stream with one more puppy. I'll wait for the ads to finish in case y'all are still seeing them. But let me get rid of the ads. Skip those ads. Okay. If you wanted to draft with me before I log off, this is going to be the last draft of the stream. I'm going to keep it to just $5. The puppy is going to be our final investment here. So if you're ready, I hope you are. Go ahead and queue it up. We're joining in a few seconds, and I will drop when to join in the chat box. I'll wait just a little bit to get that ready for everyone. But when you see me say join now in the chat, go ahead and hit that button. Quincy got YouTube Premium. Oh, that's the hack. YouTube Premium is one of the most valuable investments. I would highly recommend it. I have it as well. Anyways, I'm going to join right now. So I hope you got in. We have 3 spots. 3 spots if you want it. Y'all got the Brave browser. I have uBlock Origin as a Chrome extension. uBlock Origin is so valuable, especially when you're on like Stream East during the season when you want to watch football games. But it also works on YouTube. Blocks all the ads. So valuable. But YouTube Premium is worth it. If you have like, especially an Android phone and YouTube Music comes in clutch, to be able to use YouTube Music in the background, honestly, that's alone worth like $13. But if you watch a lot of YouTube, I highly, highly recommend YouTube Premium. It's 100% worth it in my view. But I'm pretty thirsty. I'm gonna come right back with some water. Actually, no, I've got some coconut water in the mini fridge. I'm fucking thirsty. Sadly, if you were hoping I'd be smoking with you tonight, I ran out of weed today, and it only hit me like right before the stream. I don't have time to like order any delivery at the moment. Quincy says it looks like I'm in two puppies simultaneously. Good luck with that, man. It is hard to draft two at once. Quincy at the one spot, Severe Jury. I also recognize KS Cash in here. Good to see some familiar faces. And then otherwise, can't say I recognize too many other people. But there was only 3 spots open when I hopped in. So maybe if you wanted to join, you're in the overflow. Jefferson goes, we'll take Nico. That's fine. I'll take Nico. Same tier with all these receivers. He's at the top of ADP. Only problem with Nico is I don't love stacking CJ Stroud like ever. Stroud is not that valuable. Stroud does not score many points. Last year he was one of the most, I guess, one of the least valuable quarterbacks you could take in all of fantasy football. Stroud was bad. But A-Chain goes at pick 12 despite the soft tissue injury. Maybe that team just doesn't know, or maybe they just don't care. But London off the board at 14. Henry at 13. Brian Thomas at 15. And I think I've learned my lesson. I've gotten boxed out of running back repeatedly on this stream. I think I'm taking running back. Sadly, we don't get Genty, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll mix it up. We'll go Josh Jacobs because this is probably a unique pairing. But we've seen Chase Brown get pulled up from the middle of round 3 all the way to the top of round 2, basically. I don't understand why people are afraid to pull up Josh Jacobs. You know, Jacobs, I feel very confident in as well. So Nico Collins, Josh Jacobs, maybe a unique start. But all these running backs that are going in the second round are kind of all similar to each other. Maybe Henry's the safest, but running backs like 6 through 10 are all kind of interchangeable. Ball Don't Lie is asking Goddard 26 and 27 fifth rounders for Shakir and Christian Kirk in a 6-man dynasty league. Who won? I have no idea what the value of a 5th round pick in a dynasty format is, but I wouldn't desire Christian Kirk, not at all. Shakir, not really coveted either. I think I might prefer the Goddard side of this, but I don't play dynasty enough to have any idea if 5th round picks next year and the year after have any value. I'd probably take the Goddard side just because Christian Kirk and Shakir don't feel that valuable. Definitely not Christian Kirk. But I could be wrong. I have no point of reference. I do not play Dynasty. Damn, there was a lot of chat messages today. Let's check in on the poll. I'm going to end the poll in like 30 seconds. So if you haven't answered the poll yet and you want to click on that button, do it right now. I'm interested in knowing the results myself. So I'll be closing that poll. After this pick, I'm going to close the poll. I'll take JSN. And then I will close the poll. Not letting me close the poll. There we go. So it looks like 38 people voted. 39% says Josh Allen, 31 say Lamar Jackson, 18% say Burrow, and 10% say Mahomes. I would vote Burrow. I think sometimes there's like voter fatigue when it comes to the MVP voting, and I would probably go Burrow. If he can stay healthy, if they can make the playoffs, he'll probably have an elite season like last year. And I could definitely see Burrow winning it. But Jaden Daniels does get off the board, so I will go Kenneth Walker here. That was kind of one of the plans of taking JSN. Now we got double Seattle on this team. Jacobs and Kenneth Walker, that's a safe duo, in my opinion. But I'd rather have Walker than Breece Hall this year. And I've felt that way for a while. I've been fading Breece Hall all offseason. I'm actually curious to know what my exposure is on Breece Hall. I'm going to look that up. That is my notification, that sound you just heard. What is my Breece Hall exposure? It's got to be low. Actually, I'll just look it up over here in this other tab. I have Breece Hall less than 5%, 4.5% is my Breece Hall exposure. That feels pretty comfortable. Breece Hall does fall to the 5th round again. That's a price I can get behind. In the 5th, I'm much more comfortable taking Breece Hall there, but he's been a 3rd round pick up until like 3 days ago. I was fading him all summer. Quincy was going to go Burrow, but said fuck it, Hurts and Breece. Not bad. Hurts is more valuable than Burrow, even with the Jamar Chase T. Higgins stack. I might have gone Devontae Smith just to get the stacking option. Just personally, I still might have faded Breece Hall. Thank you, Reflect the Sun. Appreciate it. Good to see you. I am on the clock. And I'll go Travis Hunter. We don't take Hunter very often, but late round 5, I can tolerate it. I can get behind it this late. It's starting to sound like he's going to play every snap on offense. It seems like the main concern was that he'll be playing on defense all the time and then mixing in on offense. Now it sounds like the opposite. It sounds like he'll be a full-time wide receiver and then have like package plays at corner, which for fantasy, that's exactly what we're hoping for. That's what I was afraid was not going to happen. So perhaps my fade of Travis Hunter might come back to haunt me. I'll check my Travis Hunter exposure after this next pick, but it's not high. I know that for a fact. It's not high at all. But Pearsall goes at 57 to the team with Kittle. Egbuka off the board at 60. Waddle 59. RJ Harvey 61. Diggs goes. Debo off the board. So I'm going to grab Matthew Golden. The wide receiver position has been kind of flying up the board, like really coveted in this draft. Even though Connor at a nice discount here is tempting, I don't feel safe with who's available at wide receiver coming back. And we do give the team at 7 a bit of a gift with James Conner. They faded running back into the 6th round, and they do get James Conner at a nice price. But I have Jacobs and Kenneth Walker, so I don't know if I need that 3rd running back desperately. Quincy says the other draft I'm in, I have the entire Eagles offense. That always feels nice when you have a massive Eagles stack. Never feels like a bad decision. Fancy Dog, thank you for liking the stream, number 15. Appreciate you, Fancy Dog. Good to see you. And then, right, I was going to check my exposure on Travis Hunter. I have Hunter at 5%. I might regret that. I might regret fading Travis Hunter. But when he was going in the 4th round, it felt a little disgusting. Granted, there were a few teams when I would stack him up with Brian Thomas and take him at like pick 37. But I may regret fading Travis Hunter. I do not regret fading Breece Hall, that's for sure. But Hunter might not be the best decision. But I've been wanting to get a Jordan Love stack going. We got Jacobs on this team. We got Matthew Golden. So I'm going to set that up later on. I'm going to try and grab Kraft as well. Because if you look into the stats for Jordan Love when healthy, dating back to 2 years ago, Jordan Love could be a top 10 quarterback. It's not impossible. It's not a bad pick at all. Addison goes. I'll get ahead of it. I'm not going to gamble that Reed comes back. I'll just take Jaden Reed here. I am obviously setting up a Packers stack on this team. It is very obvious. But Quincy Jones does take Burrow at 72. He's got the double elite quarterbacks. That's an interesting team. At the 101, we got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins stacked up with Burrow at 72. That's always great. And then goes Hampton, Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall in the 3, 4, 5 round selections. Also with Jacoby Myers. The team at 1, Quincy Jones. That's a very, very good team. That could be the combo that gets it done. But sometimes the double elite quarterback stack feels very risky. Sometimes it's not that comfortable. I don't blame you for never taking 2 elite quarterbacks up until this point. But it's a $5 entry with like, what, 100K to first? The winner of the puppy gets 100K. Take a shot. Go for it. On the clock in 2 picks. Purdy off the board. I'm just gonna put all my chips on Jaden Higgins. I can't stop myself from drafting Jaden Higgins in the 8th round. I also have Nico Collins, so we're setting up a CJ Stroud Jordan Love stack on this team. And I don't hate it. But Stroud is not like the most valuable player to be drafting in general. Stroud is not the best pick. Shamrock, welcome in. How you doing? Casey is asking, would you rather CeeDee Lamb and Caleb Johnson or Ja'Marr Chase PPR? Wait, what? What's the question? Who would you rather, CeeDee Lamb and Caleb Williams? Okay, so is having Caleb Johnson and CeeDee Lamb more valuable than Ja'Marr Chase? Probably more valuable, but I can't say I'm like dying to have Caleb Johnson in general. But the difference between wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 is not that significant, so adding a piece is probably going to cover that difference. But if you just wanted to stick with Ja'Marr Chase and then have a open roster spot, that's also valuable. Like, don't underestimate having that flexible roster spot. Sometimes players on the waiver wire are more valuable than added pieces you're going to get in a trade. So the more I think about it, I might just rather have that free and open bench spot and not have Caleb Johnson at all, because you are going to have to drop someone when you bring in Caleb Johnson. And I would definitely rather have Ja'Marr than CeeDee Lamb. It's close, but it just comes down to your preference. Do you want a flexible bench spot or do you want Caleb Johnson? I might just stick with the flexible bench spot. The only question is here, am I pushing Tucker Kraft and Jordan Love? Am I trusting that Love is going to be there at 128 when I'm the only team that has any Green Bay Packers to stack? That is the question here. Justin Fields goes. I agree, Quincy. I think I'm going to go for it. Let's take Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end. Looking good in the preseason. Very good camp reports. And we've seen some rookie tight ends like pop off for elite ceilings recently. So I'll go Tyler Warren. Some Week 17 correlation. The Colts do play the Jaguars in Week 17. And then I already know who I'm taking with the next pick. But who knows? Maybe I get sniped. It would have been fun to take Justin Fields there as like a quarterback you don't have to stack with the rushing upside. But Ayuk and Mooney go at 108, 109. Goff goes off the board to the team with Laporta and Amon-Ra. Makes a lot of sense. Drake May off the board. Shaheed goes. We're committing to this Packers stack. We're going Tucker Kraft here as our tight end 2. So I still don't have a quarterback. I may regret this. There's only one other team at this long turn that doesn't have a quarterback. And I'm at pick 128. Jordan Love's ADP is 126. So hypothetically, he should be there with our next pick. Shamrock saying, hope your Tory Horton call continues to build. I believe in it. I think it will. Inevitably, Cup is going to miss some time and not be the same player. And it also wouldn't shock me that even if Cup is healthy, Tory Horton's on the field a lot as the number 3 receiver, because JSN is a slot guy. So is Cooper Kupp. He can play anywhere, but he's more of a slot player. And then Tory Horton is like really the only X receiver that they have. Love Tory Horton. Happy that he's healthy. And we don't have to worry about when is he getting on the field, or, will he even beat out MVS? It's locked in at this point. He's better than MVS. It'd be pretty shocking if he's not better than MVS. But I have been wanting to chase Tory Horton up the board a little bit. Like, I was really high on him early in the season, early in the summer, I guess. And now that he's like getting sniped all the time, doesn't feel great. Like I wish he was still going undrafted. You know what I mean? Like, that would feel great if he was looking great in the preseason, yet for some reason the market was not adjusting. But I'm really happy I got a shit ton of Tory Horton. What's my full exposure on Tory Horton? I'm rocking 14% Tory Horton. I've been drafting Tory since early May. That's why you should have been watching this channel all summer. You'd know about guys like Dante Thornton, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Tory Horton. All those guys were my sleeper round 18 picks when they were going undrafted. But our bet does pay off. We do get Jordan Love. I'm not going to gamble that he makes it back around one more time. I'm just going to take Jordan Love here. This team needs Jordan Love to work out. So a full Packers commitment. We got Love, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, and Tucker Kraft. This team's going to be fun. This team is fun. Let's go. Hell yeah. Feels good when it works out the way you planned. Because even if I went with the safer approach and reaching on Kraft and Love at the previous 2 rounds, would have been okay. But to also have Tyler Warren instead of, I guess, Njoku, that feels really nice. We're done at tight end. Braylon Allen off the board. Panics goes. Panics at 131. That's interesting. Lawrence off the board. If he's there, I'm just going to take Justin Herbert. Yeah, give me Justin Herbert 11 picks past ADP. I think Herbert's the by far most valuable guy here. I know I have the CJ Stroud stack set up, but Stroud does not run the ball at all. I'm willing to gamble that Stroud comes back around, and even if I don't get him, I'm not going to be that upset. Stroud has been actually like really bad in fantasy all throughout his career. Last year, he averaged 13 points per game. That's terrible. He does go to the team at 6 unstacked, but I don't really give a shit. I'm fine with that. I trust Justin Herbert a lot more than I trust CJ Stroud. But perhaps, given I have both Higgins and Nico Collins, that may have been the wrong choice. The original plan was to take Stroud there at 137, but I have Herbert ranked well above CJ Stroud, so I'm not going to go against my personal rankings just for the sake of the stack. Maybe in best ball it's not the wise decision, but Herbert also has rushing value. Herbert can maybe have a blow-up game on the ground where it just really covers our ass and you don't need the stack. But on underdog, generally you want the stack. But the stack we're betting on is the Packers stack. That's really the big key here. Did Philly get John Mechie? Is that what y'all are saying? They traded for John Mechie? I gotta look this up now. John Mechie 7 hours ago is traded to the Eagles, a player I've liked for a long time. This is the official tab. On Google, it is official. Very interesting. But similar to Jahan Dotson, I'm not really convinced he has much value. Quincy took JCM in round 13. He most likely was not coming back. At this point in time, it's very difficult to draft JCM in round 15, which is essentially where you're taking him at the 14-15 turn. But Dobbs is banged up. I don't know if I'm going to also draft Romeo Dobbs. Kyle Monangai, what the fuck, at 151? Huh? That's kind of insane. I need running back pretty desperately. We'll take a swing on Jaden Blue. Potentially a starter in Dallas. My only running backs up to this point are Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker. So I need somebody else. I'll take Jaden Blue, but Blue's a bit of a gamble. Do I think Philly throws more this year? Maybe a little bit, but not much. Only if Saquon gets hurt. But their defense is elite. They're going to be winning most games. I don't know if they're going to have the type of game script that requires them to throw very much. Thinking B-Rob might get traded. I just think he loses the job. I just think JCM beats him out by like week 7. So if this team does not need something, it's definitely wide receiver. I'm kind of desperate for running back points, though. Maybe not desperate, but I do need some. Quarterback has been flying off the board. Maybe I should get ahead of it because I do want a third quarterback on this team. I might go Darnold here. Yeah, we'll go Darnold. Because weird shit's happening at quarterback in this lobby. Very strange picks. Like Geno went at 142. That's usually like my late round option. Richardson goes at 156. I got a huge discount on Herbert, but with Jordan Love, it's not like the safest combo in the world. Stafford goes 164. So, yeah, I don't regret taking Darnold. I have JSN and Kenneth Walker. So, the stack is definitely viable with Darnold. Sadly, Torrey Horton did go off the board in the 14th round. Fuck, Torrey Horton's going real early now. But compared to guys like Tillman, Hollywood Brown, Kyle Williams, I think I'd rather have Torrey Horton than Kyle Williams. I don't get why Kyle Williams has not, like, fallen considerably. He's behind Kayshon Boutte. And, like, I know rookies are better in the back half of the season, but, like, still, you can't feel that great. Like, Kyle Williams and Jack Betch feel like the same type of investment. Meanwhile, Jack Betch is plummeting, sometimes goes in, like, round 18 or undrafted. But Kyle Williams stays in the 13th round. I don't really get it. Don't understand. Anyways, I'm done at tight end with Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft. I'm done at QB with Jordan Love, Herbert, and Darnold. I need one more wide receiver. And then the rest of those picks are going to be running backs. Guerendo off the board. Would have loved Guerendo to fall 3 more picks. Sadly, he does not. McMillan off the board. Mason Taylor goes. This is round 15. We have 4 rounds left. I need 3 running backs and a wide receiver. F it. Actually, no, we'll go Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is looking kind of decent. Even though he's kind of old and there's some injury risk. Mixon is a major red flag. I've got some other Texans investments on this team. Let's go Nick Chubb. But I'm a little worried he doesn't stay healthy. I kind of prefer Woody Marks for some pass catching upside, but maybe Nick Chubb is the guy you really need. Anyways, looks like we got 35 viewers, only 17 likes. Do me a favor, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it before you go. We got at least half the people watching who have not yet hit the like button. Let me at least crack 20 likes. Feel like that's appropriate. Just disrespectful. Running back. I still really like Will Shipley. I'll go Will Shipley above Jalen Wright. Maybe I'll take Ollie Gordon later. Wow, Ollie Gordon goes 186. So Jalen Wright, I guess, was not the right selection there. Likes are down because Leia's not cutting into the camera. That's probably a big factor. Yeah, we have not had Leia make an appearance. She's sleeping off camera. She's been tired of my bullshit lately. She is not stepping in. But thank you for cracking 20 likes. I appreciate those 3 people that hit the button. Here's the full roster so far. We got Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Jaden Blue, Nick Chubb, and Will Shipley at running back so far. I'm definitely drafting one more. At wide receiver, we have Nico Collins, JSN, Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins, and that's it at receiver. Our tight end room is very strong. We have Tyler Warren and Tucker Kraft. That feels very good. And then our quarterback trio is Jordan Love for the full-on Packers onslaught. The only Packer I have not drafted in this lobby today is Romeo Doubs, and that's not the guy I'm really craving to draft in general, so that's fine with me. And then we also have Herbert unstacked, but then Darnold is stacked up with both JSN and Ken Walker. And Walker is going to be a big pass catcher. The stack of Darnold and Walker is actually very, very viable. Would love to have Torrey Horton, but it's okay that we don't have him. I think the team with Torrey Horton also has Cooper Kupp. Oh no, Team 11 has Kupp. Team 12 has Torrey Horton. So 2 picks left. I think I'm going to make both of them Packers. I'm going to grab Dontavian Wicks here with the plan of taking Lloyd coming back around. That way, if anything happens to Josh Jacobs, we are just locked into all of the running back points in Green Bay. And if you're watching those preseason highlights for the most recent Packers game, Marshawn Lloyd had a real big play. He had a deep reception. He's healthy, he's available, and I thought he was really talented coming out of last year's draft. Some injuries really kept him off the field, kind of ruined his rookie season. And there were some injuries in the preseason, but I do still trust him as one of the more valuable handcuffs. Now that we know he's healthy, I think he's a viable late round option. Lloyd asking, Fantasy Dog asking, Lloyd is hurt. He did get hurt, but he's back on the field. Did it crop up just yesterday? I saw a really nice highlight from Marshawn Lloyd just yesterday. But at some point, I think he'll come back on the field. 10 hours ago. God damn it. Y'all are right. Is going to miss some. God damn it, Marshawn. The injury bug just wrecks his value. Okay, fine. I won't go with Marshawn Lloyd. Instead, I'll go Kareem Hunt. Damn. He just can't stay healthy. That's a shame. Marshawn Lloyd has a lot of talent. It's just been wasted. Gotcha. That's so sad. That's so fucking sad. He had like a 30-yard catch yesterday, or maybe the day before, on Saturday, yesterday. Damn. Fucking most injury-prone player we may have ever seen. He's talented as fuck. I like him a lot. It's a shame he can't stay healthy. Anyways, here's the final team. Our massive investment in the Packers continued with Dontavian Wicks. We have Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, and Dontavian Wicks. With the injury to both Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, I think Dontavian Wicks is a very viable selection at the end of the draft. I like Elik Ayamanor this late. I also like Dontavian Wicks, but Ayamanor has been rising. Like in this lobby, he goes pick 181 at the 15-16 turn. So now one of my new round 18 darlings would be Dontavian Wicks. I'm also starting to like Troy Franklin. Isaac Tesla has kind of remained in this vein. He's not bad. Jalen Coker's been getting some hype. He's not terrible either. But we go with Dontavian Wicks to stack up with Love. We also have Herbert unstacked, Darnold double stacked with JSN and Ken Walker. And then our full receiver room is Nico Collins, JSN, Travis Hunter, Golden, Reed, Higgins, and Dontavian Wicks. And then our full running back room is Jacobs, Ken Walker, Jaden Blue, Nick Chubb, Will Shipley, and Kareem Hunt. And then our tight end room is very, very strong with Tyler Warren and Tucker Kraft. Quincy loves our wide receivers. I love this team across the board. I think I killed this team. Really, really good depth across the board. And yeah, the receiver room is actually very, very strong as well. Yeah, I like this team a lot. Out of the 8 slot, usually not my favorite pick, I think we did a good job. I think this team is pretty good. Let's take a look at KS Cash's team before we exit this lobby, though. KS Cash was drafting at 4, and he goes Gibbs and Bucky Irving to start it off. He also has Pacheco, Isaac Guerendo, and Woody Marks, a very good value on Guerendo at pick 172. The quarterbacks for KS Cash are Mahomes stacked up with Worthy and Pacheco. Also has Bo Nix stacked up with Sutton and stacked up with Mims. Also stacked up with Pat Bryant. Did get sniped on Troy Franklin for the quadruple stack, but also has Cam Ward. Cam Ward paired up, appears to be unstacked though. No, stacked up with Chig Okonkwo and Cam Ward. And then tight end is Trey McBride and Chig Okonkwo. And then the full receiver room is Worthy, Sutton, Keon Coleman is the number 3. So a bit of a risk in terms of the receiver strategy, but Mims, Keenan Allen, Keon Coleman is a clutch pick on this team. Josh Palmer as well, Pat Bryant, Tyler Lockett. I think it turned out pretty good. I like the stacks. I like the Broncos combo. and then some good Chiefs investments as well. Always feels good to start off Gibbs, Bucky Irving. Receiver's a little thin, but I think it works out. And then severe jury, Quincy Jones also with us at pick 1. Very unique strategy. Quincy Jones has Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. Hurts, I think, is unstacked. No, you do have Jahan Dotson. But Burrow is double stacked with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And then you did not take anyone else later on. But Burrow, anytime you get at 72, that's always a really, really good value. Running back has Hampton and Breece Hall. Breece Hall in the 5th round. That feels fine. Gets Judkins at 120. Now it's looking like Judkins is a really good pick. Tank Bigsby, also a decent pick. JCM, because you're bold as fuck, in the 13th round. He probably was not making it back to you, so good pick. And then Jalen Wright at 192. Running back room, not bad at all. At tight end, you got Mark Andrews and Brenton Strange. That's a decent combo. And then the full wide receiver room is Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Michael Pittman, Romeo Doubs, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson, and Jahan Dotson. Quincy says, really weird team. I like it, though. Yeah, I think it worked out really well. And that elite quarterback duo is going to be a bit of a nightmare. If only you could have gotten Dallas Goedert at like pick 144, but he did go 134, so didn't make it to you. That would have been the only thing I might have changed. Otherwise, I guess maybe you could have gone Devontae Smith instead of Breece Hall, but at that price on Breece Hall, I think that was the right choice. I think that was fine. Yeah, interesting team there at pick 1. Could be the combo you need. Not bad. Anyways, that is going to be it for this live stream. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all had some interesting takeaways. We'll take one last swig of coconut water before we go. And that's going to be it for me. I hope y'all are ringing that notification bell, because tomorrow I will be posting all of my quarterback rankings. I'm going 40 quarterbacks deep in my rankings video. So if you're in the Superflex format, it's every quarterback in the NFL, my point of view on each of them. And there might be some ranks that surprise you, but yeah, look out for that. That will be posted in the morning tomorrow. It's 90% done in the edit bay. I'll finish that up tonight and post it in the morning. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Hope the rest of your week goes well. And we're very close to the NFL season. Looking forward to that. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.